Hi friends, hello, good morning, good day, good evening, I don't know. Today's video is going to get a little more personal because we're going into the inner machinations of my mind, which are an enigma, if you were wondering. But really, my mind's really weird and I record all of my dreams, so I figured why not read my dream journal for you guys. And shout out to Kira, by the way, for giving me this because I got this at, I believe, my Georgia meetup, and she entitled the journal Megan's Thoughts and then wrote me a super cute letter and then basically just said, now it's your turn to write. So this is where I record all of my dreams when I remember them. And I can't stress enough how much I encourage you guys to make a dream journal because it's so entertaining. You have like a storybook and it's great. So this is my storybook for you guys. Before we start this, I just wanted to say that my dreams are so intricate and detailed sometimes that I think that they're just like a depiction of me in a parallel universe or something. I know you guys are probably like, you're a crazy person, but they're so detailed that I'm like, this has to be real. Do you know what I mean? And if it's not a depiction of my reality, maybe it's a depiction of another reality somewhere else. Sometimes I also feel like I dream some things into existence. For example, I dreamt about somebody the other night. A couple days later, they contacted me and we hadn't talked in months. And I was just like, what? Wait, what? Okay, enough chatter. Let's get on to the stories. So in this first one, I was in jail with Piper from Orange is the New Black, and I got in the elevator to go back to my bunk. In parentheses, elevator in jail? I don't know. And this random girl from my high school was in the elevator with me, and I was like, huh, odd. And then the elevator broke and it like free-falled all the way down to the last level. And when we opened the door, we were in this haunted maze and we had to like go through the maze to get a key to get back up to our bunks. And I woke up before I finished the maze. So I guess that one was a little more scary, but I never really have scary dreams. Okay, this next one I told in a vlog before, and a lot of you misinterpreted it because I told it the wrong way, I think, so I'm just gonna retell it now. So I was back in my high school and I was walking around the cafeteria with one of my friends, Claire, and then I listed a bunch of other people that I saw from high school, and we had this assignment from our teacher that assigned us to another person and we had to get to know them. She tried to assign me to this middle-aged Indian man who was in my class, who is apparently like an ex-professor, but I said no. And then the bell rang and I was walking down the hall and Claire, or whoever I was walking with, told me that this guy was looking for me, and it wasn't the ex-professor man at all that was looking for me. It was this guy that I used to talk to in high school. And then the next thing I remember, I was alone and I ran into him. But keep in mind, this wasn't my school, like classic just dreaming about a school that's just not yours. And we stopped by this staircase to talk and he told me he had been thinking about me all summer. I guess that it was our first day back in school. He told me he made me earrings. This is the really weird and detailed part. He had written up a set of rules for if we had ever started dating, and he shredded them into bits like in front of me and then put them in a jar and gave it to me as a metaphor. Like, I remember him saying, it's a metaphor, and like walking away. And then my friends walked up laughing and like making fun of the situation that had just happened. And then I got handed this thing with audio recordings on it from some 6-year-old I was going to babysit that weekend. And I don't know why it was so normal in the dream and now it just sounds absurd. Like, they wanted me to get to know the kid that I was babysitting, so they're like, oh, here's like audio recordings of her. This next dream is about my family. So I had this dream that I woke up too early before my dad, but my mom was awake. We didn't live in the house that I grew up in. It was different. And I was using my dog outside to cut the grass before my dad woke up. The parts that my dog ran really fast through broke down the grass like he was a lawnmower. The dog ran off into the street and my mom and Lindsay were in the car driving up the driveway. And my mom said that my dad already knew that I was awake and he had given us tips on how to catch the dog. I have no memory of my brother being in this dream at all, but the rest of my family was in it, which is weird. I also apparently had a dream that I got arrested for trespassing. I was with my friends Omid, Jack, and Claudia, and she let them go, but I got arrested because I said fuck you to her. The jail basically tortured us. Either I escaped or the dream changed, because next thing I knew, I was walking through my old neighborhood. I snuck back into my house and I walked upstairs into the bonus room, and my brother was asleep while sitting up, and Tika, my dog back home, was sitting in his lap alert and like staring at me as I opened the door. Like, I remember what he looked like. He was literally just asleep like this. And I remember that part of his head was shaved, like somebody had just buzzed it, just like a single patch. So that was odd. And then the dogs followed me to my room, and when I passed by Lindsay's, she was asleep under this table thing. Like, you know the tables that you get breakfast in bed brought to you on? She was like planking underneath one of those. She was just like And I didn't think anything of it at all. I just kept walking to my room, and then once I got to my room, I woke up. I tweeted about this one, but I had a dream that I filmed a weird Star Wars video with my friend Drew, and he left a candy bar in my room. When I went out to give it to him, he was gone, but Lindsay told me that Fun for Louie was in New Jersey experiencing fires like 9/11. Is that even English? What is even going on? Why was Fun for Louie in my dream? Was I watching a vlog that day? Probably. Okay, this is the last one that I'm gonna tell, but I was at this hotel slash maybe sorority house thing. I don't know, all I remember is there was a lot of rooms, and lots of people from my high school were all in them, and I didn't have a room to stay in myself, so I ended up going floor to floor, and I walked into or broke into my friend Dana's parents' house, and then I remember Dana came in and was like, what the hell are you doing here? And I was like, oh my god, I'm so embarrassed, like I'm so sorry, I didn't know that this was, you know, your place. And she was like, it's okay, but I'm only not gonna be mad at you if you stop hooking up with my friend's boyfriend. I don't even know who she's talking about at all, but I looked at her and I was like, okay. And then we went outside and we were standing in the front yard of this hotel thing, and then the cops showed up and we ran, and then when we ran back into the hotel to get my phone that I had left, the person who handed it to me, because they had found it, was SZA, like my favorite singer, SZA. And I didn't think anything of it. It wasn't weird. I was just like, thank you, SZA. And then I walked out. So that's that. I mean, I don't know who I am in my dreams, but apparently I go to jail a lot and have a lot of run-ins with the cops, and I hook up with people's boyfriends. You know, who am I? This is why I'm convinced that this is a reflection of me in some kind of other world, because I don't do these things. I suggest everybody should write down their dreams, okay? It's so entertaining. Whew, whew, whew. It's getting very hot in here, mates. I gotta go. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this video though. Give it a big thumbs up if you did and want me to do more like storytelling videos. I might make a video telling all of my strange Uber ride stories, so let me know if you guys want that. Be sure to subscribe if you would like to see more videos from me, and I will see you guys in my next one. Okay, stay smiling. Bye.
I got your picture, I'm coming with you, dear Maria, come here.